Hi guys, and welcome to A Dog's Soul. I'm Anita. I help you build a trusting relationship with your dog to overcome fear and reactivity, and today we are gonna talk about, is your dog controlling you, and are you giving your dog control? So have fun! Alright, so this is something very many dog owners are afraid of, and I guess I just want to clear the fronts a little bit and try to take that fear a little bit away from you if you have it. And yeah, because our dogs are just not wired that way. Our dogs are not running around thinking, hey, how can I control my human today? That's not really in the concept of a dog. But what our dogs do is that things that are rewarding are shown more often than things that are punished. And that does not always have to come from you. And just as a side note, we are exactly the same way. So if we go to work every single day and we don't get paid, then we don't get to work every day anymore because it's not rewarding. And if we, for example, drive in the city on a specific route and there are traffic lights, and if we make the experience that every single time we drive at 45 towards that traffic light, the first one, and it turns green, and then there is a green streak. So every single traffic light on that route will turn green, but this only happens when you drive 45. Then what will you do? Will you drive 65? No, you will drive 45. And you're not controlling the traffic lights. You just figured out what you can do to get a reward. And that actually happens when our dogs ask us for stuff, or quote unquote demand stuff from us. It's because they have learned that this behavior will give them success in whatever they try to achieve. For example, if your dog is looking at you expectantly and you ignore him and he barks and you look at him and he wanted your attention, he got your attention with barking. So he will bark again because it was useful. And this has nothing to do with control, and it happens sometimes that people train their dog to do something, and whenever the dog decides to try that in a different context, the human starts to get a little bit afraid because the dog is now actively doing this on his own to get a reward. But that's not control. It's just the dog learning that a specific behavior is useful and can get a reward. He has to figure out now in what situation the reward will be given to him. So, for example, if you teach your dog to look at you when you're on walks and there's something interesting, then your dog will try looking at you in other situations. And if you don't want that, then you cannot give your dog whatever your dog wants. But for me, with just the looking game, it's a little bit ridiculous. Because I'm fine with my dog looking at me. And if it gets too much, I just stop the treats and praise him verbally, and it will not be as interesting anymore as the treats, and so it will become less and less. And another thing where people think the dogs are controlling them is when they are left alone. And this is something that's very sad. Those are dogs who follow you around all the time because they are so scared that you will leave again. And that's a very clear sign for the dog not being comfortable while he's alone. And that has to be trained immediately. Those dogs are really, really poor creatures because they are panicked, they cannot sleep, they cannot rest in the time they are alone. And if that goes on for hours, it is a health issue at some point. And it is a mental issue from day one on. And unfortunately, there are no shortcuts to training your dog to be home alone. A crate is absolutely no option. I've made a podcast about crates already, but a crate confines the dog, but it doesn't help at all, and it is forbidden, thank God, in some countries, because the space is just a lot too small and it's absolutely not okay. And there is one thing where our dogs do have control and where we actively give them control. And that is husbandry work with a marker signal and a cooperation signal. Because what we do when we use a cooperation signal for our dogs is we teach them that they are in control of the situation because they can break the signal and the treatment will stop. And why we do that is because everything that's happening to us or to the dog is less scary if we have control over the situation. And if there is something happening that's uncomfortable for the dog, if he has control over the situation and he knows when it gets too much, I can stop this, then our dogs are a lot more willing to participate in uncomfortable stuff. And it's the same thing for us. If, for example, we are at the dentist's office and we have been to that dentist's office before or to another one, and we have learned that whenever we tell the dentist to stop, make a sign or something, the dentist will stop and will consider whatever our feelings are and will ask if we need more pain medication, if we need a break, if whatever. Then we will be a lot more comfortable and we will go to the dentist a little more relaxed. But if we have those butchery kind of dentists where they don't give you enough pain medication, they just strap you down, to talk a little bit in extremes, it's not that extreme, but they have you in the chair and they have you in a very uncomfortable position with your mouth open, and they ignore whatever you try to show them and stuff like that. It's a lot more scary and probably a lot more painful. And you will not go to the dentist voluntarily again if you have made such an experience. So what I want to say is, do not be afraid to give your dog control. Do not be afraid to train your dog something and see your dog figuring out when to use it and how to use it and having fun with it. There is nothing wrong with that. And our dogs are not up to try and control us. This has been planted in our minds by people who have absolutely no idea how a dog works. That was mean, I know, but it's the truth. And if you need any help with training your dog to stay home alone in a comfortable way, or you need to boost your dog's confidence a little bit and are willing to give control to your dog just to make him fine with the situation, go to the description and click the links. You will find courses there, and they will teach you exactly what you need to get your dog ready for whatever you want to do with him, in the sense of confidence and staying home alone and stuff like that. If you have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to rate and review the show. I love those, and I wish you an amazing time with your dog and an amazing time training and an even more amazing time watching your dog get more confidence with being in control just a little bit. Until next time, bye.